Hi, this is Emily, and this is the M Dash. If you're new here, I am really glad you found your way in. And as you've been walking this journey with me, thank you for coming back. Last episode, I talked about being where your feet are, being present, living in the moment you're actually standing in. And I couldn't help but think about what comes right after that. Because if we're honest, so many of us aren't living in the moment. Why are we living life like it's a rehearsal? Like the real thing starts later. I heard something last week on a podcast and it stuck with me. They said the hardest thing in the world is to live only once. That made me pause and I sat with it for a minute because we say all the time, you only get one life. I even say it to friends when they ask for advice, constantly saying, we get one life. And yet, so many of us living like we have a practice round. Somewhere along the way, we started waiting for permission to change, permission to celebrate, permission to try something new, permission to be seen, permission to enjoy our own lives. But this is your life. You don't need a permission slip to live it. You can write your own. So why are we acting like we get a practice round? We don't. But that also means life doesn't have to be perfect. It just means live while you're in it. We save things, the clothes with the tag still on it, the fancy bottle of wine or champagne. We tell ourselves, I'll use it when something special happens. But what if being here is a special thing? What if this Tuesday is the occasion? When I was editing my book, When the World Gets Loud, I remember I was on chapter 5 and I was looking out the window and I was thinking to myself of a dress I had in my closet. Fancy dress, sparkly dress, tags still on it, thinking, what was I saving that for? I'm talking about this and I haven't even worn the dress. So I got right out of my seat, went up to my room, put the dress back on, sat back down, and started editing my book again. I remember thinking to myself, I was saving that for something. But I finally stopped waiting for permission to celebrate. It wasn't about the dress. It was about realizing I was allowed to feel joy now, not later, not when everything lined up, not when life looked perfect, not when someone else made the moment worthy. Now, I was editing my book. That alone was the celebration. We postpone living. We wait until we feel confident. We lose the weight. We find the perfect partner. We get the promotion. Our kids get older. You know, when life calms down. We wait to start enjoying life until life stops being messy. Life is messy. It always has been. And if we keep waiting for the perfect moment, we end up missing the real ones. Living like life isn't a rehearsal doesn't mean you're chasing perfection, just means showing up, wearing the dress to dinner, lighting the candle on a Tuesday, celebrating the small wins, laughing in the middle of chaos. It means letting joy exist in ordinary moments. Being where your feet are isn't just about slowing down. It's about allowing the moments to matter. Because this moment, this is the one. We don't just live like life is a rehearsal. We live like life starts later. Most people are guilty of counting down to Friday, waiting for the weekend. We push through Mondays. We tell ourselves we'll rest this weekend. We wait for vacation to feel alive. And in doing that, we rush through the very life we're wishing away. In the last episode, when I talked about being where your feet are, being present isn't just putting your phone down. It's allowing the day you're in to matter. It's living the day instead of feeling like you're surviving it. Many people today are celebrating a Lunar New Year, fresh start, intentions, new energy. Within that Lunar New Year is fire horse energy. And whether you follow astrology or not, Symbolically, this energy speaks to courage, to forward motion, to bold authenticity, breaking hesitation and living fully instead of cautiously. Fire doesn't wait for permission, it illuminates. Horse energy doesn't stall, it moves. And there's some people celebrating Fat Tuesday, which translates to me, king cake. Why some are honoring Lunar New Year and some are celebrating Fat Tuesday. One is a celebration and one is renewal. And maybe both are reminders of the same thing. Life is happening right now. So wear the red, eat the cake. If we only feel allowed to start when the calendar flips, we end up living like life is the rehearsal. What if every morning was the permission to begin again? Because it is. Why do we wait? Not because we're lazy, not because we don't care. We wait because somewhere along the way we learned we got to wait until we feel ready, worthy, or certain. We're afraid of being seen. We're afraid of wasting something meaningful. We're afraid the moment won't live up to the expectation. We think joy has to be earned. We think celebration requires witnesses. We think we must arrive before we deserve to enjoy. But it ends up costing us while we're waiting. We miss ordinary moments that could have been beautiful. We postpone joy. We delay connection. We stay in preparation mode instead of participation. In life, it keeps moving. We think we're protecting the moment, but sometimes we're protecting our lives from living it. Life isn't lived in the waiting, it is lived in the choosing. And somewhere along the way, we learn to prepare for life instead of participating in it. We plan, we perfect, we postpone, but participation isn't where life actually happens. We learn to put pressure on it. Pressure to get it right, pressure to be perfect, pressure to prove ourselves, pressure to wait until we feel ready. And that pressure keeps us stuck in rehearsal mode. It keeps us waiting. It keeps us overthinking. It keeps us holding back from the very life we want to live. But life doesn't ask for pressure. It asks for participation. Participation looks like showing up as you are, trying even when you're unsure, resting when your body needs rest, saying yes when something feels aligned, saying no when it doesn't, and not feeling guilt. Participation is living inside your life instead of managing it from the sidelines. Pressure keeps you performing. Participation lets you live. If that resonates with you as you're listening, pause with me for a moment, will you? Take a breath. Participation over pressure. Right now, you're not performing, you're just here. So try this with me. Breathe in for a count of 4. Hold it for 2. And slowly let it out for a count of 6. You don't have to close your eyes. You don't have to do anything special. I learned this breathing pattern a few years ago, and I use it anytime I need to reset. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. Remember how I talked about the space between your eyes? Let that soften too. Let your nervous system catch up with you. Now imagine moving through your day this way, participating instead of pressuring, showing up instead of holding back, trusting your timing instead of rushing it. Because you don't have to earn your life. You get to live it. You get to begin from right here. So yes, open the bottle, wear the dress, celebrate Tuesday, not because the moment is perfect, but because you're here. Stop waiting for the perfect reason. Stop saving joy for later. Let joy lead. Life isn't the rehearsal, it's the performance. And guess what? You're already on stage. No one is handing out permission slips. No one is coming to approve your outfit, your job change, your rest, your joy. You don't get a second life to live, the one you delayed. Linger in the moment instead of rushing through it. Rest without explaining why. Celebrate something small because this isn't practice. It's your life, so choose it. So I'll say it again. Why are we living life like it's a rehearsal? We speak carefully, we delay joy, we postpone truth. We wait to feel ready, we save living for later. Sometimes the loss isn't time. It's the moments we didn't allow ourselves to live. It's the small moments we rushed past. Life isn't made of the big days. It's made of the ordinary moments we choose to be present for. What if today isn't practice? What if today is the performance? Stop rehearsing your life. I invite you to step into it. Nothing about today has to be extraordinary to be meaningful. This Tuesday happens to hold celebrations, and tomorrow might look really ordinary and basic to you, but there's still a reason to celebrate. It is whatever you choose. And I hope it's because of you, your life. Before we close, just pause for a moment and allow yourself to soften into this, whether you're driving, walking, or sitting in this moment. Let yourself receive what comes next. Let this blessing meet you where you are. Closing blessing. Today, may you stop saving